It's time for All Hands on Tech.
Climb on board as we explore all the amazing things happening in Nova Scotia's tech sector. Each episode, we'll chat with local experts to uncover the secrets of what makes Nova Scotia the best place for collaboration, innovation, and creativity.
All Hands on Tech is proudly produced by Digital Nova Scotia, the industry association for Nova Scotia's growing tech sector. Welcome back to All Hands on Tech. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jenna. Historically, here on the podcast, we've interviewed tech companies and organizations, but for today's episode, we thought we'd broaden the scope a little.
That's right. The Black Business Initiative is the premier business development organization uniquely supporting Black businesses in Atlantic Canada by addressing the many challenges Black Canadians face when it comes to starting and growing a business.
And we're thrilled to have Monica Mutale, BBI's Senior Communications Manager, on today to dive into how they support their members. And of course, we'll talk tech too. Monica, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. So we are really looking forward to this conversation, Monica. At the beginning, we kind of glossed over what BBI is all about, but tell us what the organization does for folks listening who may not know.
So for those who don't know, the Black Business Initiative exists to support Black entrepreneurs across Atlantic Canada. So we can provide them with funding, we can help them expand their networks, but really we just offer sort of a vast range of services to help them grow their businesses and sort of live out their dreams as entrepreneurs.
Cool.
Amazing.
And you've been around for a long time.
Yeah, so we've been around, I believe it's 26 years now. So
Wow.
quite a while.
That is an impressive track record.
Yeah, and we're not stopping. You know, we're growing. We're in a huge growth phase right now, so it is a really exciting time for the organization.
Well, we're going to touch on growth and some of the bigger questions here. But before we do that, we have a couple of rapid fire questions just to get to know you a little bit better. So I guess I'll kick off the first one. So are you a cooking at home person or an ordering in?
I would prefer to cook at home, but these days I'm a bit on the lazy side, and there's been a lot of ordering.
Yeah,
Aren't
that's
we all?
fair. We're all in that boat, I
That was
think.
been like a couple days ago, yeah, for sure. Anything you, in particular, you like to order in?
I'm trying to go for like healthier stuff. So no matter where like we're ordering from, I'm always like, can we get like a grilled chicken, like vegetable situation? I'm not typically somebody who loves vegetables, but I'm like,
Trying.
you know, I'm at that phase in life where I'm like, I have to have a little bit of vegetables with everything
Yeah.
that I'm eating. So.
Totally.
Exactly.
I definitely feel that.
Dream job as a kid?
Oh, I had a couple. I wanted to be a singer-songwriter for the longest time. And I loved to write. So the dream is still to write a novel at some point in my life.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So very creative.
Yeah.
Which
I'd
is
say
nice.
so.
Communications, you do a lot of writing. So
Yeah. So it's a good
you are
fit for
living
me.
the dream.
I'm living my dream. Yeah.
Do you karaoke?
Do I karaoke?
Yeah, as the singer, you know.
Sorry. I have not had the chance to. Like, I'm definitely a shower singer, definitely a car singer,
Okay.
but like I have a thing coming up pretty soon with some friends of mine, and I'm trying to like convince them that we should do karaoke, but they're all nervous about it. But I'm like, this is my chance. This could
cool.
be my debut.
They
So
have private
see.
rooms. You can do like the private room rentals for karaoke. There's one right on Gottagen.
That's cool.
Yeah, so if your friends are shy or if you're a little shy, just rent the private karaoke room and then you can all live out your best lives.
So I think I have my birthday plans figured out now.
There you
Amazing.
go.
Happy
Okay.
to help.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, so last question. Key traits that you look for in a role model.
Oh, that's a great question. I would say, transparency and vulnerability. I mean, they might not be like the ones that jump to mind for most people,
Those are
but
good ones, though.
I just really appreciate someone who can really speak to me from a place of experience and just be honest. Like, I'm not looking for them to kind of, teach me how to, smize and schmooze my
Yeah.
way through life, but I really just want to know, how can I develop the skills that I need to advance my career.
I love that.
Yeah, same. That was lovely. Okay, we're going to get into some questions. We're fresh into 2023. So talk to us. I mean, you mentioned off the top that BBI is growing a lot right now. So what was it like in 2022? Do you have any highlights or shout outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, so we have a lot of highlights. It's been a great year, just like a year of rapid growth, like I said. So our staff even just since the time I joined our team in the fall of 2021, we've already grown significantly. So I believe we had about 15 people on staff at the time. We're already up to 25 and
Wow.
still
Wow.
growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we even moved offices. So we were located on Hollis, and now we're here on Cornwallis Street, just around the corner from where we are now.
Awesome.
To really just kind of find a place for all of that growth. So it's been a fantastic year. So one of the key things that happened this year is we expanded the organization officially. So for the first 25 years of its existence, BBI was only serving Black entrepreneurs in Nova Scotia. So now we are officially serving Black entrepreneurs across all of Atlantic Canada.
Wow.
So we have, it's exciting.
Yeah, that is
That's awesome.
exciting.
Claps for us. So we officially have staff in New Brunswick and in Newfoundland and Labrador. And the person that we have in Newfoundland is also representing the Prince Edward Island
Okay.
province as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's very cool and very needed.
Yeah, it is. There are lots of entrepreneurs out there who are looking for support, who didn't know that there was anything like the Black Business Initiative. They have, unique needs in those different provinces, and we're really excited to be meeting them and helping them out now.
So you've been around for a long time now. I'm just wondering why, in 2022, are we seeing this big growth? What do you think is contributing to that?
So that's a great question. I'd say it was really the opportunity. So it's two things, I think. So it's the opportunity. So the reason that we've been able to expand now is there's this federally funded government program called the Black Entrepreneurship Program Ecosystem. So we refer to that as the BEP. And so that has given us, the funding that we need to really expand what we're doing. And it's not a small feat by any means. So this is it's a lot of programming on a large scale. And so there was that need for funding. But I think also just, it's funny, our sort of theme for our 25th anniversary was a milestone with momentum. And like the momentum at BBI right now is just like, it is just going and going. So like I said, it's a really great time, but it can be a little tough to just sort of like stop and say like, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Like we are all just in the thick of it every day, like just getting things done all across the organization. So I think this was the perfect time for us to stop and be like, all right, let's make this official.
Yeah, let's really look at this and
Yeah.
dive back in with purpose.
Exactly.
More purpose. Not that you don't always have purpose, but
And do you think there's more like Black Atlantic Canadians wanting to take on like new business ventures or, become entrepreneurs? I'm assuming that's a big part of it as well, right?
Yeah, so the need is there as well. And one of the great things that we do at BBI, basically as an organization in general, but also in some of our specific programs, like one that we call SBCCI. It's a bit of a long name, but that stands for Supporting Black Canadian Communities Initiative. We do these needs assessments. So before we dive into anything, even before the BBI was created, they, the task force that really set out to determine if there was the need for an organization like this, went out into the community to find out what exactly are the issues, what can we help address, and how can we do that? So we're doing those needs assessments, and we did that around the Atlantic provinces to really determine what those different needs are.
very interesting. You kind of just touched on it right there, but we know there can be a lot of challenges to Black business owners starting and growing a business, which of course is where BBI comes in. So can you tell us a little bit about more what those challenges are?
Yeah, so when the organization was created, so way back 1995, so we've got a lot of history.
1995.
I know. I was 5, so
Same.
really good times.
Yeah.
So we were addressing a couple of key needs in the Black community. So those were a distinct lack of role models. So there weren't enough people in these positions as entrepreneurs who were self-employed and thriving. We didn't have enough people for others to look up to and say, okay, I can do that. We had a few for sure. We definitely, the Black community is a very, creative and a very entrepreneurial and enterprising community, but we just weren't in those positions. There weren't enough of us in those positions for people to really say, like, this is a viable career option. I'm going to give up my 9 to 5 and I can make it because that person made it. Underdeveloped business skills. So those people who did have that interest in entrepreneurship just, didn't quite have the training or didn't have the education that they needed to really, like I said, make that a viable career option. So that was one of the second concerns. access to capital. So for these reasons and other reasons, the funding just wasn't there specifically for Black entrepreneurs to grow their businesses. Maybe there was funding available for people to pursue entrepreneurship, but if you are trying to compete as a Black person, we've already established, you don't have the skills, you don't have the training, you maybe are lacking the confidence, you're probably not going to get the funding. So that was another a need that needed to be addressed. And then lastly, it was identified that discrimination at the institutional level was a concern for obvious reasons.
Okay, and these are all kind of challenges and barriers that BBI is trying to tackle. I know you do a lot of it through different training and programming, and I know on your website it says that you offer programming kind of based on like market trends and what the community is asking for. So I guess I'm just curious, like what are the trends right now, and what are folks looking for?
Yeah, so another great question. I'd say right now, marketing, so with that being my role at BBI, that's one that comes up a lot, and I've had the opportunity to go on some site visits recently to go see our clients and just find out, what are they struggling with. So we have what we call entrepreneurship engagement managers, or EEMs, who are responsible for working directly face-to-face with our clients, really building that base and going out and interacting with them. So I did have the opportunity to go with them, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. It's really cool to be on the other side of it. And they shared that marketing, for example, is a challenge. With COVID, obviously, people kind of had to turn. They didn't really have a choice, but they had to, if they wanted to continue to compete, whether it's locally or nationally or globally. They had to get the word out there about their businesses. And one thing that I think is unique about the Black community is that we really are we are a community. So there are a lot of family-run businesses. There are businesses that are promoted in more traditional methods, so it could be word of mouth. But when you are faced with a pandemic where all of a sudden, everyone's, storefronts are being shut down, you can't just promote your business by putting up a poster at the local church, which is actually a way that people do advertise in the Black community. So all of a sudden, that's not going to cut it. So other businesses are, they're launching their online stores, they have their online ordering systems. And now all of a sudden they can ship all around the world. Well, how are you going to compete with them? You have to figure out how to market yourself on a much broader scale. And so one of the challenges that BBI had to respond to is, how do we equip people to increase their online presence? How do we teach them how to use social media if they've never used it before? If you have a construction business, how are you going to promote that? So so I'd say marketing is for sure one of the top areas of concern today.
And I think that's kind of what our next question is going to hint at as well, like how digital can help. And obviously digital marketing is a big part of that. And I guess just in general too, like more businesses are establishing that digital presence, you're noticing.
They are, for sure. So they're responding in really great ways. And so digital, it can help in so many ways, even like I said, just helping you reach a much broader network. One area that people are coming to us for support in is specifically, tech integration. So how do I incorporate tech into my business? And so one of the ways that we have responded is we are training people. So BBI is known for its training department. So we have these year-round courses that are offered. It could be, an 11-week program. It could be a 10-week program. And these are led by local experts who are helping by providing really exclusive insight for these Black entrepreneurs to equip them to do what it is that they want to do. So we have training. We also have what we call the Business Consulting Advisory Grant Program. Cool. So we call that CAS for short. We have a lot of acronyms at BBI, in case you haven't picked up on that. No shortage of those there. So the CAS grant is specifically designed to help people integrate tech into their businesses. So we help out in 4 areas, and you can receive up to $5,000 of funding if you are eligible. But the 4 areas that we support people in are the development of sales or marketing strategies. There's business management development practices. We have technology or digital support. And lastly, e-commerce integration. So that was literally like a direct response to how do I...
Buying online.
Exactly, yeah.
So I feel like so far we've chatted a little bit more about like more like commercial type businesses, like either storefront or whatever. But have you noticed a trend in terms of people wanting to get more into the tech industry as a result of the pandemic? Like kind of those like very tech forward focused industries?
So interestingly, we're not really seeing a huge number of people wanting to start up those tech focused businesses, but we are seeing people who are launching what we're calling like tech enabled businesses. So they are starting their businesses keeping in mind that, I need to be set up to receive, online payments or automated payments, or, they're creating their businesses with this sort of like outsourced fulfillment component to them. So people are just coming into it in a much more knowledgeable way than we've seen in the past.
Right. Kind of like having that base knowledge for yourself instead of solely relying on someone else who does hold the knowledge.
Yeah,
I think that's important. The more you know, the better you can equip yourself with even asking for the help you need somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but I had learned maybe 2 years ago now about, and it was like, I can't remember the name of it, online black mall. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
It's not called that.
It's not called that at all, but
So I know exactly.
Okay.
The Ebony Shopping Plaza.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really cool idea because you want to support local Black businesses, but sometimes you don't know where to find them. And this kind of goes back to what you were saying about the help with marketing, right? Like trying to attract to everyone. And I thought that was a cool idea. So just, I guess, an example of trying to get these businesses digital.
Yeah, absolutely. And having that space where everything's all at once, it makes it really easy for the consumer to just be like, cool, I can browse everything all right here.
Yeah, and that is that was a really great initiative by a community member, and BBI does something a bit similar. So we have our Black Business Directory, and so this is published. Forgive me for this. I want to say every year, but it might be every 2 years. I think it's every 2 years, and this is a great resource that has traditionally been filled with Nova Scotia businesses, but now is going to include the rest of the Atlantic provinces. But it's just this really great document. So historically it was a document. It's now available online. That's the punchline. It's online now. It's digital. So it's a list of, every kind of Black business that you can possibly think of. So if you're looking for a hairstylist, if you're looking for an artist, a graphic, designer, a web developer, somebody just in the Black community who is producing a high quality product or service, people have always, a lot of people have known that they could turn to the Black Business Directory for that. And so, as I said, we used to publish that every 2 years. And so now we have it set up so that you can visit our website, which was just revamped and launched in the summer. You can visit that. You can create an account. If you are a Black business owner, you can create your listing there. You can submit it for approval. If it is approved, it's going to be published, and you can sort of maintain and edit your listing, at any time. But it's just a great resource that you can just go in and you can search this directory of businesses. So yeah, we are just looking for ways for people to really, we want to have that database for people to be able to easily access. I'm really excited that it's digital for the first time.
That's a huge tool. That's really great to have people at the convenience of their home computer able to access all that. I love that. So we're fresh into 2023. The floor is yours. Is there anything that you'd like to highlight for the listeners? What's exciting? What's coming up? What can we keep a lookout for?
Great question. So February is coming up, so it's going to be African Heritage Month very soon, and you can definitely support Black businesses all year round, but obviously this is an incredible opportunity. The Black businesses are going to be out there, in your face all the time, and you'll just be able to support however you can. So, keep an eye out, look around and see if there are any events you can attend. The annual African Heritage Month launch events are always really exciting, and yeah, it's a great opportunity to show your support for that community. Other than that, you can keep an eye out, or generally people can keep an eye out for our training programs and our grants and financing that are available throughout the year. So you can always just visit www.bbi.ca and learn about what we have available at any given time. You can also contact us by email, bbi@bbi.ns.ca. And the very last thing, you can follow us on our social media networks. So we are BBI_Atlantic on Instagram. We are Black Business NS on Twitter and Facebook, and we are Black Business Initiative on LinkedIn.
Perfect. Great tidbits. Everyone will be sure to follow along.
Thanks for tuning in to All Hands on Tech. Interested in learning more? Visit us on our website at www.digitalnovascotia.com. We'll see you next time.
This
has been
a Podstarter
production.